reaching more people. So my first words one is thank you. Then if
Ah,
we look at the campaign, if we look at our Radio Pulpit listeners, because we are a Christian radio station, we have listeners from all ages,
of
different ages.
course.
But what we have seen is we've become younger. More and more younger listeners are listening, and
True.
that is awesome. But there's a number of people who want to support Radio Pulpits financially, and we need it. We
Mm,
need that financial support. But because our listeners are different age groups, different cultures, we need to find out, how do you want to give? We don't
yeah.
always know, because there's a variety of ways that people can give, but we need to know, how do you want to give? For example, a debit order or EFT
Mm,
payment, or you might be, or you want to support a project or take part in a Visiothon. There's a lot of things that we do that you can support. And of course, it's not only financial, you can pray for us as well. And
of
that we
course.
also need. But with this research, we need to find out, how do you want to give? We want to make
Mm,
it easy for you.
that's true. Because, the Gen Z, they call it, can be quite difficult. I know a friend of mine who hates inconvenience. So, like you're saying, she's much younger. And if it's for her, debit order, she'd be like, oh, go ahead, because she does not want the admin of having to do things with her hands. Yet another person will say, I'm not comfortable with the debit order. This is what I'd actually like.
Yeah,
So
that
clever, I must say. Now, Jean, tell me, what methods are being used to ensure the research data is collected and is actually accurate?
we did compile our questions, and then we sent it through to a research company called Insights 2020. So they are totally independent. They looked at the questions, gave us a go ahead, and now, as people are completing the questionnaire, those answers of the questions are being captured
Mm,
on a spreadsheet. That spreadsheet goes through to Insights 2020. Then they give us the results.
all right.
So it's totally managed by an external company, although we did compile all the questions because we have specific questions. But it's good for us to have an external company involved, and just so
True.
that our listeners also know that we are really open, and we try to really work with the finance that they give us in financial support in the best way possible.
I love that. How will the feedback gathered during this campaign be used to shape Radio Pulpit's future strategies and listeners' engagement efforts?
We do not only ask about finance, we also ask about, how do you want us to make contact with you?
Okay.
So there's various ways that we can make contact. We can make contact through an email, through an SMS, through WhatsApp, via Facebook, via the web. There's various ways.
Yeah.
But once again, when we look at our listeners, they differ, and
True.
they also, the age group also influences that.
Yeah.
So our campaigns will be shaped depending on which market we are targeting. I'm saying market now, but an example is, for example, the youth program that Given has, Given Masilela. We will not, most probably, use the same way or the
Oh,
same methods that we will use for Good News Time.
okay.
So it depends on who's listening. So we want to reach our listeners easy. They have to have access to us, and they also need to get our information on the platform they want to have it.
All right. Now, this one gets our listeners very excited, Gina, I must tell you. Before I could even announce the campaign yesterday, I already had questions about this particular one. So, there are actually incentives for people to take part in this research campaign. Tell us more about the prizes.
Yes, I think it's lovely prizes. So
Uh-huh.
there are 3 prizes, and it is Woolies vouchers. So you can go and, keep it for your Christmas shopping, or buy gifts, or buy something for your house, whatever
Yeah.
you need. But the first one is a 5,000 Rand prize. The second prize is a
Wow.
3,000 Rand prize, and the third one is a 2,000 Rand prize.
Wow. So, it's vouchers that they can shop anything from Woolies.
Anything from Woolies.
Love it. So, until when do our listeners have to take part in this research?
We need to get 500 replies.
All right.
Questionnaires that have been fully completed. And up to now, only we started yesterday, and we didn't have it on all programs on radio, but we started with our media platforms like our social media and the website. And we already got 300 names by this morning.
What?
Which is awesome. I just want to say thank you. Thank you, listeners, for the engagement to
Yeah.
each one of you. But, we have to have at least 500, but we can also have
So we
more.
can take more.
We can take more.
Okay.
For it to be credible research, we need 500, but we can do more. So we want to give people just the opportunity over the weekend as well to take part in this. So most probably it will close on Sunday the 13th of October.
So guys, it's very soon.
It is soon. It's because our listeners are so awesome.
They're quite proactive. And I
Yes.
always say, Jean, even with competitions that we get to do as a station, I always advise, you'd hate to find that there's a decision taken and you're excluded. I think it's important to know, the decision was not based on my view only, but at least I had a say on how things should actually run.
Yes.
So thank you so much for your time, Jean. Any parting words, anything you'd like to bring to our attention before I let you go?
There is something, some listeners might have a bit of a fright when they open the questionnaire, which shouldn't happen, because we do ask them in which income bracket do you fall. That doesn't mean that we are going to categorize you per income. It's not
Okay.
about that at all. It is about just knowing in that income bracket, most probably in some income brackets, we might use an SMS and not a WhatsApp.
Okay.
So it does make a difference, but I want to tell listeners that their information is going nowhere. It's staying here at Radio Pulpit, and we comply to the Poppy Act. And yes, please don't have a fright when you see that. We are not trying to...
We're not trying to gauge how rich you are.
No, and we are not trying to get information to give to somebody. It stays in here.
I love the sound of that. Jean, thank you so much. And I want to say all the best for the campaign, but it's just going well. So thank you so much. Also, just for interacting with our listeners and involving them in the decision-making processes at Radio Pulpit.
That's a pleasure.
Sicela ukuzwa uvo lwakho. Ungasithinta ku gospel@radiopulpit.co.za noma usithumele iWhatsApp ku 0